Hi, welcome to Manor Park Classics. I'm Steve Berry, and this is your new, improved, streamlined auction preview. They've applied some science to lads. For instance, we'll start off here with a block of either full-on off-road or off-road themed machine. And first, out of the blocks today, yeah, these would have been raced, wouldn't they? It's a 2003 Honda CR80, small wheel, youth motocross. When you say youth, what are we talking about there? I'll stand next to it. I'm not the longest in the leg, unlike my friend and colleague Fraser here, who would find this tiny. I would say that's for sort of early teens, something like that. It's a two-stroke, single cylinder, 90cc basically, 6-speed manual. It's got the small wheels. There is a big wheel version of this, and they could be fitted, but it's got the small ones. It's got new plastics, and the estimate is 1,500 quid to 2 grand on that one to get us started, the 2003 Honda CR85. Now, this big lad is a Husqvarna. Yeah, the people who make sewing machines and lawnmowers and such like. And also won lots of races from the 60s onwards, including in the, I was going to say 90s, it's an 88. It's a 1988 Husqvarna TE 510, fully rebuilt, superb dirt bike. 4-stroke, single cylinder, 6-speed, front disc, rear drum. The estimate on that one is £4,500 to £5,000. And I tell you what, there's no gap, so I'm going to stay here and point instead of like physically moving around. Let Fraser get at the bikes. Let the dog see the rabbit, so to speak. This rabbit being a 1984, what a magnificent machine, Maico 490 Alpha 1. A man's motorcycle. There, I've said it again. We're only a few minutes in, and already I'm being controversial. No controversy, though, on how good these things were back in the day. This jumped to the front of suspension technology with its single-shock Alpha Control rear suspension system. Yeah, it's not a twin shock. It's a Maico that isn't a twin shock. After seeing a single shock system on their factory race bikes, it wasn't surprising to find that the bikes that they sold to mere mortals also featured this, which in 1984 must have seemed, which is more than 40 years ago, must have seemed incredibly modern. Two-stroke trail bike, of course, starts and runs, part of a private collection, hugely powerful in the estimate. Scary, these. They wheelie when they want to, was my experience of riding one of these big Maicos. But yeah, if you know what you're looking at, that's a very nice one. 4,250 to 4,750 is the estimate on the Maico. Next to it, a big Honda CR250R 2002. It's only been used for, it's only had 10 hours of use. 10 hours of use in 24 years. How's that happened? Somebody bought it, thought it was a good idea. They rode it, and then they thought, oh, I tell you what, I'll just stick it in the garage, and when folk come round, they'll go, oh, have you got one of those? They'll go, oh, yeah. Don't mention that you don't ride. I don't know what happened, but that is, again, a fearsome bit of kit. I rode one of those at Western Beach Race very badly. If you look up the records, you'll find me down among the sort of people who... David Knight lapped me so many times. Got sick of the back of David Knight. Him again, as he'd lapped me. But I did finish. Honda CR250R 2002. The owner states the bikes only have been used for 10 hours. Part of a collection. The estimate is 9,000 to 9... Hold on. Yeah, 8,000. 8,000 to £8,500 on that one. The CR250. Now, next to it, the TDR250. Middleweight dual sports bike. An on-road bike very much influenced by off-road styling. The sort of thing that was big in Europe, not so big here, until these came along. Again, I'll mention it. Performance bike magazines. They were big fans. They had a Project TDR250, I remember. They squeezed a bigger engine in it. But a very capable machine. Like I say, very much in the European style that Japanese manufacturers and European manufacturers were trying to make more popular in the UK. Two-stroke twin reed valve YPVS system, really nice example. Matching numbers, it's done 9,000 miles thereabout, and it's got a full MOT until this time next year. The estimate on the TDR250 is between £4,500 and £5,000. Don't forget there is a buyer's premium of 15% on the hammer price and a minimum charge of 50 quid plus VAT. Legal's out of the way. I can tell you more about that KTM. Again, the theme here is genuine, proper off-road weapons and stuff for the road, very much for the road in this case, influenced by off-road bikes. So this is the 690 SM Supermoto, KTM 690 from 2008, 4-valve, 4-stroke, single-cylinder, Akrapovic end cans, good tyres, some tasteful modifications. Because, of course, when you're riding a 690 Supermoto with Akrapovic boxes on the back, you want to keep everything tasteful as you terrify your neighbours. £2,500 to £3,000. It's done 19,000 kilometres. Looks to be in fantastic condition. If you fancy a Supermoto for the road, I took one of these. No, I didn't do it. My pal Nigel did it, and he let me borrow it, but I kept it for ages. In the end, he had to remind me how long I'd had it. I took one of these and sort of did that to it, he did, before they did it at the factory. These Supermoto bikes were one of those examples where the industry follows the customers, because we were the people who put these things on the road, first with road tyres and road wheels, and then they thought, oh, right, okay, that's what you want, we'll build it for you. And KTM did. £2,500 to £3,000. A Fantic. Don't get frantic, it's a Fantic. The Fantic TL250E. They could have that advertising slogan for free, no charge. 4-stroke enduro, like it says here, a green lane bike, like a DR350 or something like this, or a Yamaha CR. Something you can ride on the road and something you can ride off the road, but not too off-road. No Dougie Lampkin or Graham Jarvis or David Knight type activities. No Johnny Walker. I don't mean the whiskey, I mean the rider. None of that. Keep it nice, keep it calm. Look at the trees and the pretty flowers. Green laning on one of these. Perfect for that. 4-stroke liquid cooled, 6-speed gearbox, fantastic condition. It's got electric start and a kickstarter. Has it got a Kickstarter? I can't see one. No, it's electric start only. 2018, the estimate, oh, it's cheap this. I tell you what, looks like it's hardly been used. Let's have a look at the mileage. Yeah, there's a reason for that. 500 miles from brand new. Even though it's... Do you know what I've worked out doing this job the few times that I've done it? If something looks to be in absolutely unbelievably good condition, even though it's 7-year-old, there's a reason. Yeah, it's done 500 miles from new. That's why it's in such fantastic condition. Loads of extra stuff on it as well. And a low estimate. 1,750 to 2,250 on the Fantic. Kawasaki Sherpa, Super Sherpa. Now, I would have thought Bultaco had the rights on that name, but since they haven't made anything for quite a long time, Kawasaki, well, I'll probably end up finding out later on when I do some research, as opposed to doing some research before I do this chat, which would probably be a better idea, but would involve me being a bit more organised than I am. Kawasaki probably own Bultaco. But anyway, they use that name, the Super Sherpa. Never seen one before. Have you ever seen one? Not you, Fraser, but you've probably never seen one before yourself. The KL250 Super Sherpa. Dual sports bike like the Fantic. It's on-road, it's off-road, but not too far off-road. 250 4-stroke single cylinder with a 6-speed manual box. Imported to the UK. Yeah, I never saw these on sale in the UK. Imported to the UK in 2012. It's from 2009 and it's done just over 8,000 kilometres. I can't believe that because it looks brand spanking new. Looks like brand new. Estimate, £2,500 to £3,000 on the Kawasaki Super Sherpa. Trials bikes, again, what they've done, a bit of science, they've put everything that's similar together to help me out. Thanks, lads. I know that this is a Beta Techno 250 because I used to see all sorts of people riding these, including Dougie Lampkin. That is the name of the great man himself. This bike has had some wear and some use. The owner states that it runs and rides. It's a 250cc single, 1999 Beta Techno 250. You could have a lot of fun on this bike very cheaply. 900 to £1,000 is the estimate. I can't believe that that bike is now 26 years old. But it is the Honda Reflex. The Reflex, that's right. Like Duran said, what was that song about, the Reflex? Didn't make any sense. Look at the lyrics. No sense. I went to the bar. I used to watch that video over and over. Dancing in the Dark, Bruce Springsteen, Billy Idol, White Wedding, Duran, the Reflex. The lyrics over and over again. They make no sense. But this is a Honda Reflex and it makes a lot of sense. It's a TLR200 4-stroke dual-purpose trials bike. The estimate on it is £2,500 to £3,000. You get a 200cc 4-stroke single. It's got new tyres and tubes, new chain and sprocket. The cam chain's been replaced. The drive chain tensioner, fresh oil, recent paint, new rear springs. New. 1986 Honda TLR200, £2,500 to £3,000. Yamaha TY80. Cut. How many lads and lasses got the first go on this? When you look at it, the one thing that sticks out is how wide the bars are. They're like, look where the seat is. The bars are so, because the bars are off, I think, a grown-up's bike. Kickstart, obviously. Air-cooled single. 70s, iconic trail bike. Runs and rides. Pack of receipts for the rebuild. How many folk got going because they first rode one of these across the fields and thought, do you know what? I'm going to spend the rest of my life riding motorbikes. A lot, I would imagine. The estimate, 1,250 to 1,750 TY80. A SkyTeam Bongo. Really? That sounds like, no, I better not go there. SkyTeam Bongo. My mind was drifting, Fraser, and I was going to places that I shouldn't. Let's instead show people this fantastic replica or homage to not a monkey bike, but a gorilla, yeah? It says 98% chimpanzee on the front, which I think is a reference to the amount of DNA that we share with the primate, what is closest to us. But I think we also share a ridiculous percentage of our DNA with a banana. And I heard that on QI, so it must be true. SkyTeam Bongo, so it's a Honda, but not made by Honda. 2015, this one's from. It's got an engine upgrade. So it's a 140. Blimey, it must be a ball of fire, this, with a 140 motor in it. 4-speed manual, very low mileage, 15 horsepower. Now, that doesn't sound a lot, but let me tell you something. In something this small, that is going to be an absolute flying machine. It looks great as well. I tell you what, if you rocked up somewhere on one of these, like Ray Bike Night or Rivy Barn or, you know, wherever you go to, on one of these, you get more attention than if you were on a new MV Augusta or a new Ducati or a new Harley, whatever. More attention on one of these. Estimate, 1,000 to 1,500 quid. MZ TS, anybody who watches these will know how much I like an MZ. They're just so different, aren't they? They're like, as I've said before, the communist stuff, it's like the Australia of motorcycles. Like in Australia, like porcupines and a duck-billed platypus and a kangaroo. All these weird animals they didn't have anywhere else. Well, the communist stuff grew up and got developed a bit in isolation. And so it was just made differently. But these things were very successful. This is a 1980 MZ TS250 twin-shock trial bike. So obviously you could get involved in what is a very active sport in this country. Built by the owner to compete. Yeah, built for competition, not for polishing and showing off, for competition. It runs, rides as it should. There's a file of photos of the build that comes with the bike. Viewing is strongly recommended. We always say that. The sale's on Friday. We have a lovely time. We're all friends together here at Ranner Park, both vendors and buyers and all of the fantastic staff here, except for Fraser. Nobody likes him. Not true, I do. The estimate is 1,750 to 2,250 on the 1980 twin-shock MZ 250 trials bike. The Fantic TX, is this one here again? Oh no, it's a different one. Or is it the same one? I don't know, but they are great. What a fantastic looking motorcycle. 1981 Fantic TX250, again a twin-shock trials bike. Placky tank, yes. Part of a lifelong retirement collection, 125cc with a 175 conversion, good tyres, motor runs great, new bearings, seals and gasket. The wheels have been rebuilt. It's got stainless spokes in those wheels and new rims. Hubs and frame powder coated, new rear shocks, OZO rear shocks, Ozo rear shocks. Are they the ones that pump up? Yeah, there's a valve there. Sherpa Pro Taper fat bar conversion, domino throttle, rental grips, new, seat recovered, gone through. Top to bottom, great looking bike. You could compete or just ride round on it for fun. Great looking bike. 1,750 to 2,250 on the 1981 Fantic TX250 twin shock trials bike. Walks this way. They put all the British stuff together. $1951. I'll have to have a look at this. Yep. 1951 BSA E34 Competition. Family owned from new. This bike has not been messed with. It's a 489 or a 499, 489, 4-stroke single, 4-speed gearbox, unrestored original bike. What you see is what you get. It's not been messed about with. It's not had a shave and a haircut and like been rolled in glitter so that you think it's better than it is. This is an honest motorcycle. Original owner's manual and handbooks. It's got a Kickstarter and the estimate is £5,000 to £5,300 on the 51 BSA E34 Competition. Yeah, with a high-level pipe, thus indicating its competition status for taking part in regularity trials and gymkhanas and such like. Triumph Tiger 90. Triumph made some bloody good looking bikes and this is one of them. And that's swearing, but only a little bit. 349cc, really nice example. Looks mostly original. We've got the logbook. We've got a VMCC dating certificate. The owner states it starts, runs and rides. There's one key with it and the estimate is £2,500 to £3,000. 1964 vintage. Looking good for 64. No, the bike, not me, obviously. Right, another MZ. I can't get round, so Fraser, you show folk the bike and I'll just stand behind this lovely Triumph. MZ ETZ 251, part of a private collection. 249cc single, an amazing example. It is, I can tell you that. It's only got 7,000 miles on it. The people who bought these rode them and rode, they were commuter bikes. Cheap, get-to-work material. There was a dealer in Bury, John Redford, and he sold Vespers and he sold MZs. And the MZs, I'd look at the mileage on the ones he had in the shop and it was like phenomenal mileage because most people that bought them, that was their transport. They didn't have a car. And if they needed a car, if they needed more space or more carrying capacity, stick a sidecar on one of these. But this one is very low mileage for a 1992 MZ. Original owner's manual. We got it from the owner's house. He gave us the V5. One owner from new. 1,750 to 2,250 is the estimate on that very low mileage 1992 MZ 251. Right, now, on the end there is a handsome motorcycle, which to me has got a lot of potential. It's a project, obviously. It's a very rare competition trials model, an AJS 16C. I would imagine if that's your thing, you know exactly what you're looking at, and you know, like I've just said, what potential that motorcycle has. It's a 350, there's not many left. It's showing as a C model, the AJS 16C on the V5, and we don't know too much more about it. We don't know how many miles it's done because it hasn't got an odometer of any description, and it's a bit of a mystery. 4,500 to £5,000. You could solve that mystery. You might be looking at that It's got a number on it, so it's obviously registered to ride on the road at some point. And you'll be thinking, wow, that's a rare bike. I know exactly what I'm looking at, and I am going to register to bid in the Manor Park Classic auction this Friday at Manor Park Classics in lovely leafy Cheshire. Or better still, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to go down and breathe in the atmosphere. Don't breathe in too much of it. We charge. There's a charge for the atmosphere. There isn't. 1947 Douglas T35 offered from a Douglas collector. Not a collector called Douglas, but he might have been a collector of Douglas motorcycles. Of course, BMW copied their design. Horizontally opposed, cooled twin. But, yeah, they say, oh, there's some debate. There's no debate. BMW copied it. They were first, Douglas. They made some very fine motorcycles, including that one. It's a 350 twin, very sophisticated for the time that it was made, just after the war. It's been in a private collection. It's very original. It's not been messed with. The estimate is £3,000 to £3,500 on the 1947 Douglas T35. Next to it, a true classic. The word's overused. I overuse it, but a Norton Dominator 88. It starts, runs and rides. It's from 1960, 500cc twin, same owner since 2013. It starts, runs and rides. We've got the V5. The estimate for a true classic, a Domi 88, is £3,000 to £3,500. A good, honest bike, not Concours by any stretch of the imagination, and I don't think you'd feel inclined to spend the time and money to get that bike into Concours condition. What I would do is just ride the bloody thing. Fantastic. And the money, I say again, the estimate, £3,000 to £3,500. Seems cheap. We've got another one here, 1958, Dominator 88. It's in better condition. It's seen more love, possibly fewer miles. Running as it should be before it's put in storage. We've got the V5, the owner's manual. Mileage on this one is 48,000 from new. It's in good nick. 1958. The estimate on this one is also £3,000 to £3,500. A Royal Enfield. Still at it with these, aren't they? The Indians doing very well with them. They offer a lot of bike for the money, but this was a lot of bike for the money back in 1953. A stunning example. Stunning, you say? Yes. Sorry, I was watching Sean Connery, James Bond film the other day, where he rode a Cajiva. Terrible film, but a good bike. Anyway, back to this bike, which is also a good bike. 500 twin, 1953. We've got a dating letter, the original owner's handbook. We've got the V5. It is in amazing condition. It's obviously been restored. It's had paint. The paint looks lovely. Very contemporary, this sort of grey, browny colour. Looks good. Looks quite modern. But it's not. It's from 1953, and the estimate is £3,500 to £4,000. Over here, let me just shimmy. Let me just do a bit of limbo. Look at that. Like a pro. A pro what? I'm not sure, but like a pro. MZ ETZ 250. I've told you how much I like these. Wow, look at this one. It's like a show bike. Right, I'm not going to make that mistake of being amazed and surprised. I'm going to check the mileage. Weirdly, 25,000 miles from new. Wow, who'd have thunk it? 25,000 miles. It's a two-stroke single, 250cc, 5-speed gearbox. I can't believe this bike's done. Look at the mudguard. How's this? That's new. Come on. The headlight. That's new. That's not done 25,000 miles. No way. The seat. This bike has been restored. Vintage Motorcycle Club sticker to show it wasn't really a commuter bike. It was a sort of... And these, like, handsome leather panniers on the side, you could almost go touring, as long as you weren't taking a woman with you. Obviously, she would look at those tiny panniers and think, no, sir. Can't even get a pair of shoes in there. Anyway, 2,800. I'm not surprised. It is in phenomenal condition. £2,800 to £3,000 for the 1989 MZ ETZ 250. Norton Model 19S from 1955. A stunning example. Nice little box on the back. What's in it? What's in the box? Right, the last thing you want to find in here is like pistons with holes in them and like gear wheels with teeth missing off them, broken chains, all that sort of stuff. There's a Bakelite switch and a screw. That's it. Good sign. A sign of a bike that's been well maintained by a orderly owner. He's got a sign on here for oil, for his oil light, but then he hasn't got a light. Ah, there's no oil in it. That's why he's put that there. Yeah, to say, listen, if you start this bike up, that seat's been recovered. If you start this bike up, looks like a new battery, new paint, I'm guessing. Make sure you put oil in it. 596, 600cc, starts, runs and rides. It was part of a small private collection. It's done 28,000 miles since 1955, which is 70 years ago. Wow. And the estimate is 3,750 to 4,250. I like that seat. That's a proper saddle, that. You could have a lot of tour fun. It's a big bike, isn't it? 600cc. It's a physically large motorcycle. I like that. Because it means you think, yeah, two of us could go out for a nice day out on that. Put some butties and, like, you know, a flagon of gin in that little box on the back. You could have a lovely, for the passenger. Not the rider, obviously. Another classic. I love this colourway. That's sort of, it's not, it's gold, but it's subdued. Isn't it, Fraser? Subdued, that. It's not in your face. With the white and the black. Very classy. A classy motorcycle. A class act, this, the Bonneville. 1972, so getting on later in the day. We got a disc brake on the front. Is that a drum? Yeah. Yeah, we're not quite up to disc brakes at this point. 649cc twin. You know that. It's a Bonneville. Two sympathetic owners, it says here. It was restored, and the clocks are showing 1,019 miles. We don't think that's the mileage. They're probably new clocks because it's been restored. When you look around it, you think, yeah, them pipes, yeah, that, the shocks. It's all had a lovely polish. Decals. Do you say decals or decals, Fraser? Decals? Decals. I say decals. I like some fresh decals. They sort of, you know, they're like cut flowers in your parlour. They just give the place a bit of class, don't they? And when they go around the bike and put like fresh stickers, decals, whatever you want to call them on the paint, do you know what? I could go for that. I really could. That's a bit of me. 1972 Triumph T120R Bonneville. 4,500 to £5,000. Ridiculously cheap. What a great bike. Lovely thing. 1976 Triumph Tiger 750. Beautiful machine, matching numbers, obviously restored. Look at the gleaming brightwork. Ah! Yeah, it's a bit in your face, this one, for me. But it's probably perfect for somebody else. Cool. Somebody's put a lot of work into this bike. Look at these gleaming cases. The paintwork's perfect, the pinstriping, the cap, the badge, everything's been either replaced, refurbished, polished. Beautiful bike. 1,604 miles on the hodometer. We're not sure about that. We've got the V5. The estimate is 4,000 to £4,500. If you can, come and have a look. If you're interested in the bikes, I'm interested in that one. I really like it. I think I prefer a disc brake though, because of modern traffic. Do you know what I mean? But that wouldn't be a big deal. And you could probably flog that drum to somebody who's in the market for one of them. You'd probably come out of the deal ahead, to be honest. Anyway, that's just what I think. What you think is what matters, because you're the buyers. And the vendors, obviously. BMW R87, 1979. That would be behind me there. Oh, what a good looking bike. I'm in love again. Twin discs on one of these. Is that right, or is that an upgrade? Beautifully restored. It runs, rides, and has been used recently. Handsome motorcycles, these. Look at those cast wheels. from 1979. Cast wheels and double discs on the front. This is a proper sports bike. 800cc twin. Beautifully restored. It runs, rides, and has been used recently. Part of a private collection. I am absolutely gobsmacked to see how cheaply you could get yourself on this bike. Look how narrow them bars are. This is a proper sporty machine, this. Right, forget that Triumph. I'm not interested in that anymore. I'm in love with this one. £3,000 to £3,500. Wow. For nothing. 41,000 miles on it. Are they miles? Yeah. I like that. It's obviously an old bike. It's from 1979. But double disc, cast wheels, you know, in many ways it's modern, making it more usable and practical in sort of day-to-day traffic now. You can actually use it. And I do like a black bike. I know they're hard to keep clean. Black bikes are hard to keep clean, but £3,000 to £3,500. Don't forget, there is a buyer's premium of 15% on the hammer price, and there's a minimum charge of 50 quid plus that. Benelli Electrica. That's going to be one of these. So, which one is the Benelli? Now, that is a Benelli because it's got the little... there it is. Wow. I don't think this is why I love coming here. I've never seen one of them before. Never seen a Benelli 2C Electronica. It's a two-stroke twin. It's been dry stored for many years. UK bike. Again, it's a UK bike. I don't remember them selling these. And I was obsessed. I used to read Which Bike magazine, W.H. Smith, from cover to cover. I thought I knew every single bike that was on sale in the UK. Evidently not, because look at these drop bars. Proper cafe racer style. I like the textured seat. I tell you what, try finding one of these covers. You don't need one because this one's in perfect condition. The reason why? It's a trap I no longer fall into. I thought, how can the saddle be like that? How can look at the mileage. 2,200 miles from brand new in 1979. 2,200 miles. Kickstart, look at that. You will never see another one. You could, everywhere you went, wherever you went, you'll be confident knowing that you'd be the only one on a Benelli 250. 2C Electronica. Did I say 250? It is a 250. That's why I said a 250 twin as well. Yeah, fantastic. Like a Japanese version of a what? Of like a little Yamaha TDR or something like that. Wow. But with these drop bars. Maybe that's why he stopped riding it. I mean, yeah, pretty uncomfortable that. But you won't be on it for long. You got to suffer. Suzuki, not on this. Look at this big, butch, bold, comfortable muscle bike. Suzuki CS750, very original, complete bike. 750cc, four-stroke, inline four. It's got electric start and a Kickstarter. Registers as historic, so forget all that tax and MOT if you want to. The estimate for this, a lot of motorcycle for your money, gentlemen and ladies. 1,000, don't forget the ladies, I never do. 1,500 to £2,000 on, it says CS here, I think they mean GS. Yeah, GS750. Typo, anybody can do that. Not me, obviously, but you know. I'm going to get in so much trouble. GS750, 1978, 1,500 to £2,000. Not the best, but a lot of motorcycle for your money. Look, it's got one of those Gelari race seats on it, probably from 2-4 accessories. Do you remember them? Yeah. And a neater exhaust. Yeah, it's got, period. Rentec bars, Gelari seat, and a neater exhaust. The trio of the most popular modifications from the period that this bike was made. So obviously the first owner had a bit of money because they wouldn't have been cheap either. GSX250 Bandit. Is that it? It must be. Hey, look at that. What a lovely little thing that is. 2,500 to 3,000. It's a 250 four-stroke, four-cylinder. 250 four-cylinder, four-stroke. Wow. Liquid cooled, 6-speed gearbox, chain drive. It's got an aftermarket exhaust. This is a little jewel of a bike. Look at the condition, absolutely fantastic. The person who bought this bike loved it. Absolutely loved it. Looked after it, polished it. Everything's been cleaned, everything's been polished. The wheels are immaculate. I think they might have been freshly powder coated, to be honest. £2,500 to £3,000 on the 1995 Suzuki GSX250 Bandit with just a bit more than 10,000 miles on it in all those years. Somebody's going to snap that one up. Little bargain, that. Honda CL400W. I thought all these had been converted by sort of London hipsters into like Brat style, street tracker. You know what I'm saying? Rare to find one like this. Oh, hold on. Is this the right bike? Yes. Ah, right. Ah, yeah, here we go. Right. So this was a CL. There's me saying, oh, it's rare to find one that hasn't been converted. It has been converted into something else. So it was a CL400W, but it's been upgraded to a CB400 with the tank and the panels and all sorts of other bits. Honda themselves upgraded the model in 2000 to the CB400 SS, and somebody bought all of the parts and put them on an earlier CL400W. So that's what's gone on there. It's a Japanese bike originally. They're all Japanese bikes originally, Steve. I think you'll... Yes, I know. What I mean is it was sold new in the Japanese domestic market. We have a dating certificate from the vintage Japanese motorcycle club, putting it in 1998. It's a good bike. It's got a Kickstarter on it, which is rare for a bike this old. 1998. 2000 to 2500. Disc brake on the front. Yeah, very usable bike, rare bike. Lots of good kit on it, but very affordable because nobody really knows what it is. So a bargain there, potentially. But remember, you got to register to... I was going to say vote. Register to vote for Steve Berry in the forthcoming election. My father-in-law thinks I should have been a politician. Terrible idea. I'd have skeletons in the closet, but the closet would have to be room size, really. So no politics for Stephen. Right, moving swiftly on. Another MZ. What's going on here? Why have all these MZs all cropped up at the same time? Weird. MZ ETZ 250, an original example. God, they were made like tanks, these things. They were transport. They weren't for fannying around on. They were essential transport for people, and they were made that way. That's why they've survived so well, I think. So this one's got nearly 20,000 miles on it. It's MOT and tax exempt because it's from 87. Top box. Hey, look at that. It's a Rickman. A Rickman accessories top box. The first top box I had was a Rickman. It always seemed quite odd to me that Rickman made all the sexiest stuff for like a Rickman Matisse or a Rickman Kawasaki or whatever. Rickman Suzuki, the fastest bikes on the road. But their main business was plastic top boxes. Yeah. Two-stroke single, original bike. The owner states the bike is running. We've got the V5. We've only got one key with it. The estimate is £1,000 to £1,500. And its own way a classic. Next to it, a proper classic bike, a 1950 Matchless C80. Unmolested example. We like to say that when something comes to us and it looks like it's been at the bottom of the ship canal for a few months. If I'm being honest. No, because, right, here's the deal. Some people will benefit from a bike that has been expensively and extensively modified by previous owners. However, a lot of people want the bike as is, as it left the factory. So this is a bike for you. 1950, it's a 500cc single, blimey. We've got the old buff logbook and we've got the V5. The owner states the bike is running, but it will need recommissioning. Yeah, it will. I was going to say you could just leave it as it is and ride it, but I don't think that's realistic. But if it's running, at least you've got a solid foundation to build from if you know the bike is running and that everything works. It's cheap enough, £4,000 to £4,500 for the C80 500cc single. LNA 658. Yeah, wow. 1956 BSA C12, a restoration project required recommissioning. It's a 250 4-stroke single with a 4-speed gearbox, a complete bike. Seat's good, tank's okay, side panels are in good condition. All the bodywork's good. Yeah, this one you could do that. You could just clean it up and use it. 1,300 to 1,800 is the estimate on the BSA C12. Good project. Not as big a project as the Matchless, more of a sort of cleaning and sorting out job rather than serious taking things apart. And in fact, yeah, the panels and some of this, the pressed steel stuff, that's obviously been repainted recently to a high standard. They've done a good job there. So not too much work for you on that one. The 56 BSA C12. He said, not having to do that work himself. Easy for me to say. Yeah, I know. Another C12. Project bike requires recommissioning, 1,300 to 1,800. 4-speed gearbox. We've got no keys for this one, unfortunately. We've got the V5, and it is a non-transferable registration GFG 465. You're stuck with that. 1,300 to 1,800. 58 BSA C12. Kawasaki Z200. Again, a good, honest motorcycle. I was going to say strictly A to B transport, but look at this. You know, that gives light to what I was just about to say. Vintage Motorcycle Club, British Motorcycle Preservation Society. I think you're a bit confused there, mate. It says Kawasaki on the side. You might be British, but the motorcycle is definitely a product of Fuji Heavy Industries, who I think you'll find are based in Hamamatsu, Japan. K200, air-cooled, 5-speed, UK bike. It has a kickstart. Isn't it funny? Somebody loved this bike, and somebody felt that their interest in this bike and their relationship with this bike was that of a classic motorcycle. And yeah, all it is really is just good, honest transport. But you might have had one of these as like your first get-to-work bike and think, bloody hell, a K200. I can't believe it. Look at that. Nobody's messed with it. Is it cheap? Yes, it is. No reserve. You've got to register if you want to bid. Register online at Manor Park Classics. Just Google it. You'll find us. The Royal Enfield. Ah, now, is this an Indian one? Yeah, 2002. Low mileage modern classic. Oh, it's not been stored very carefully. It needs cleaning. Scotch-Brite. Get a Scotch-Brite pad. Right, top tip for you. Don't clean household stuff with Scotch-Brite pads that are meant for parts, like engineering work. There's something in it that you don't want to get on your pans. Don't tell me how I know. Or don't ask me how I know. I'm just telling you. Yeah, it needs cleaning. Ah. What a thing. I love this saddle. Did they have a mad moment at Royal Enfield? Because I don't think that's an edition. So this must be some sort of custom version. It's 2002. It's 4-speed manual, low use bike. Yeah, 4,500 miles from new. That's it. 1,300 to 1,800. Requires full recommissioning. Yeah, I think I disagree with the lads for once. Hey, look at them crash bars. That's for India, isn't it? You know, where the traffic's a bit lively. Although, bloody hell, they're substantial. You do an extra 5 miles an hour if you unbolted them. Has it got them on the back? What a thing. The Bullet 500. 1,300 to 1,800. If you know, right. Fraser, just come here a sec. What are these for? Are they meant to be indicators? It's like, there's all sorts of mysteries with it. The mysteries are free, by the way. You don't have to pay extra. Were they actually indicators? Because if they are, it'd be a bit misleading. If they were coming towards you, you wouldn't know. They're on the headlight. Very odd. The things, and it's got, right, forget it. We're not going any further into the mysteries of this motorcycle. That's for you. If you're willing to stump up, we reckon, around 1,500 quid for that Royal Enfield. It's 500. It's not the 350, it's the 500. Classic. Take them crash bars off. Please. Weigh them in, you get decent money for them. Right. The Noddy, the Velocette LE MKIII. Great value on this one, it says. The estimate is very low, £800 to £1,200. It is, of course, Enfield. Velocette, what am I talking about? That's an Enfield. This is a Velocette. It says it here on this incredibly stylish badge, which is just positioned there. Yeah, I think they called it Velocette to make themselves... They had the Veloce, and then the Velocette was a smaller version. So they added "et" to indicate that it was smaller. Wings, they are the enduring theme of motorcycle badging. So many companies have used wings. Because, of course, motorcycling is the closest thing to flying. Maybe not on a LE from 1960, but it is great value. It's MOT and tax exempt, matching numbers. It starts, runs and rides. It's done less than 4,000 miles from new, and it could be yours for about £1,000. Another MZ. Says part of a private collection. I think a private collection of MZs. But you might say, yeah, well, those more modern ones are all very well and good, Berry. But what I want is a proper MZ. You know, like people will say, that's not a Triumph. It's not a real Triumph. This is a real MZ from 1981. A TS251. Stunning example. Very nice. Look at it. I like the seat. What a thing. Just pure motorcycle, nothing added or taken away. You might look at it and think, God blimey, it looks like a tractor. It does look a bit like a tractor. Well, it looks agricultural. But I find that interesting. You also might find it interesting enough to think, yeah, I'm going to bid on that. How much is the estimate, Berry? Stop wittering and give us the facts. All right, I will. The estimate is £1,700 to 2,200. Don't forget the buyer's premium of 15% on the 1981 MZ TS250. An AJS. Cool, look at that fairing. I think, Fraser, that's what they call a dolphin fairing because it's meant to look like a dolphin. Does it look like a dolphin to you? No, it doesn't look like a dolphin to me either. However, the person who owned it had been to Rill. And for that, they deserve a medal. Liverpool by the Sea, as it's known. Look, they've got a pier. Have they still got a pier at Rill, or did it burn down? My mate, somebody tried to sell him a pier that had burnt down. And he went there and it had burnt down. Just to tell you this one quickly. He got there and it had burnt down, and he said there were just stumps sticking out of the water. And he said, well, what are you actually selling? He said, the pier and the rights to the bit of sea where the pier was. What rights? Like oil drilling off the Lancashire coast? Oh, actually, that might not be as daft as it sounds. I withdraw that comment. So it's an AJS Model 16. It's a project bike, but it's got the required parts that will be needed to put it back to the loveliness that it previously enjoyed. I love this. Look at this. Right, so you go into Rill. You want to take your butties with you. So you've got this wicker basket. So you put your crisps and your flask of lemon tea in there. But then, oh, you might want to sit back and lean back on that. Right, now, if you could tell me how that works. Right, so you're sitting there, but you've got a pad there. For what? What are you going to do, like? Oh, my dad used to do stuff like that. Well, I'll just make a little pad for that. Look at that, great. Leaning back on a wicker basket, can you imagine? Oh dear, no. It needs work, it's a project. £1,300 to £1,900 is the estimate. That's quite a wide estimate, that, isn't it? 1953 AJS 350 4-stroke single. Top end and carb needs fitting, it says. Now, this is a project, isn't it? When I say this is a project, isn't it? What is it? We know what it is, because if you can come down here, Fraser, it tells us in bold letters on the side. This is an Moto Guzzi. It's a Moto Guzzi Nuovo Falcone, spoken like a native of Lancashire. Ex-military bike. Ah, right, yeah. That makes sense, doesn't it? When you look at the spec with the twin saddles. Are they rubber? Let me have a reach round, if you'll pardon the expression. No, leather. Thought they might be rubber because it was military. Big military type screen, canvas there. 20,372 kilometers from new. One of 33 bought from the Yugoslavian army. Wow. Bought from the army of a country that no longer exists. It could be yours. It's a rare bike. 500cc 4-stroke single. It runs. We have the keys. And the estimate is £3,300 to £3,800. But you're going to say, well, when's it from? What year? How old is it? Well, looking at it, you'd think it's ancient, wouldn't you? It's not that old, 1973. If I was looking at that, I'd think, oh, it's just after the war or something like that. No. 1973, ex-Yugoslavian army. Motor guts. I wonder if it'll be restored as a military bike. I doubt it. It'll probably be painted like fire engine red. But it's up to you. You can do whatever you like with it. Keep it like that. Turn it into a chopper. Do whatever you like. But you need to register to bid. Manor Park Classics. On the internet. You'll find us. We're in lovely Cheshire. It's nice here, or it was yesterday. The weather's turned, hasn't it, today, Fraser? The weather's turned. Not exactly motorcycling weather. It's a nice day to be in here looking at these bikes, which is what I'm doing. Giving you the information you need. I'm telling you some tales from my life in motorcycling. 2004 Royal Enfield Bullet 500. I could tell you about the time that I rode the diesel Royal Enfield on the telly. Possibly the worst motorcycle I've ever come across. But I shan't. I'll stick to this. Low mileage modern classic. 1,500 quid to 1,800 quid is the estimate. It's the 500. It's the one you want. 500 air-cooled twin. Twin? Are you sure, lads? Don't think so. Right. Yeah. 4-speed manual. Very low use bike. It requires full recommissioning. The estimate, 1,300 to 1,800. I'm sure these are singles. You can't go off how many exhaust pipe there are, of course. I've been caught out like that before. If you're interested in that, you know what you're looking at. And it's cheap, isn't it? About 1,500 quid it should go for. 2004. Super low mileage. When I say super low mileage, under 3,500. How does it end up looking like that if it's done less than 3,500 miles? It's just been put in the corner of a shed, hasn't it? Unloved, neglected. But the owner had their reasons. Anyway, Norton Jubilee. Low mileage example. 16,000 miles. Which is low mileage because it's from 1959. I love the saddle. Look at that. And the bodywork. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Inspired by sort of American cars of the period, because we wanted to sound to Americans like, hey, Americans, we know you helped us out with the war eventually, but all that money we borrowed off you, we need to earn some dollars. So do you want a motorbike that looks like a car? Yeah, okay, send us lots of them. And we did send lots of them. And some of them have come back. It's a 250 air-cooled twin, part of a private collection. 1,000 to 1,500 pounds is the estimate on the 1959 Norton Jubilee. Honda CBR400RR. No reserve on this baby blade. It's a track bike. It's a track bike. Yeah. It's got lights on it though. Has it got a number plate? Yes. So you could ride it to the track, like Donington or Cadwell, which it's got the stickers on there, which, you know, he's not taken off, has he? The previous lad, because he's like, oh yeah, I do track days. Oh, you do track days, do you? Yeah. Yeah, lovely thing. Didn't look like he's binned it. This is pattern bodywork, obviously. The seat unit and the fairing and all that. Because at some point, he probably did bin it. But that's how you find out where the limit is, by binning it. I speak from experience. Wear 'em out Wilf was my nickname at one point. I'm not proud of it. I'm still here. And so's this bike. You can have a lot of fun on this for very little money. There's no reserve on it. You know what it is, 400cc, 4-cylinder, the Japanese domestic market version of the CBR600 and the 900, the Blade. That was their version of it. Loads of these came over. It's in good nick, there's no reserve. Get yourself that, get yourself to a track day, or just round the lanes on a Sunday afternoon. It'd be lovely. So cheap as well. Yamaha FZR400 Genesis. Part track repaired, but it is road registered. No plate on it, but it says it is road registered. The V5 will need applying for. Matching numbers, no reserve, part track prepared. It just, yeah, it's got new lines and looks like the calipers have been refurbished. New discs, yeah, refurbished calipers, new discs, all that sort of stuff. New tyres, yep, new tyres. Is this a no reserve? Yep, no reserve. So, get registering, get buying, you might get a bargain. FZR400 Genesis. I remember riding this for, was it which bike? Or was it a telly thing? It was a telly thing. We were doing a roundup of affordable, fun bikes at a certain price range. And this was very much in that bracket. I don't think Moto Guzzi had made too many bikes that was affordable as this one for quite a while, or offered them for sale in the UK. 750cc, Italian sports tourer, like their version of a Monster. Yeah, the Moto Guzzi version of the Ducati Monster. They'd seen how popular that had been, how many bikes. Saved Ducati that bike, the Monster. I don't think Ducati would have survived without the success of that bike. And this was the Moto Guzzi version. No reserve on this one, bought as a project, ready to ride. New clutch and reconditioned gearbox, new starter motor and a new rear tyre with new pads in the brakes. Full oil service, filters and brake fluid. That bike is ready to go. It's from 2004. It's done 13,740 miles. No reserve on the Moto Guzzi. Suzuki GSX250. No reserve. In working order. Last owner's had it for 10 years. He said it start, runs and rides. We've got the V5. We've got 2 keys for it. It's MOT exempt and it's done 52,000 miles. Need to sort it out and clean it up, but apart from that, it's all there. Another 2.4 accessory saddle there. God, they didn't have to sell some aftermarket seats, them lot. Now, I know a few lads that have got their eyes on this one. Some of them quite close to home. We think lots of fun could be had with the Direct Bikes 550 QT. Now, I think, personally, this should go in a museum because it represented a step change in the way that motorcycles were retailed in the UK. I don't think they had dealerships. I don't think they had a dealer network. I think you just bought these online, and I think these were the first bikes that you just bought online. 2016, it's a 50, it's automatic, it's got a lovely pink top box, and it's electric start, no reserve. From the ridiculous, I was going to say to the sublime, from the ridiculous, although it was transport for somebody, this could be transport for somebody as well. This isn't going to win any beauty contests. It's a 600cc Suzuki GSX600F, spares or repairs from 1992. It's done 25,000 miles, liquid cooled, 4-stroke. Look at the spec on this. Listen to the spec on this bike. 600cc, 4-stroke, 4-cylinder, liquid cooled, 6-speed gearbox. What a high spec there was on this bike. But because it didn't have the full-on race replica looks, I think it was underestimated at the time. Good bike. No reserve on that one. 1992 Suzuki. Bits missing. It's a project. But there's a good bike there for somebody. Very cheap. Now, I like this. I don't like the condition, but I do like it. Look at this. The aforementioned Rickman fairing on something a bit more sort of substantial than that other bike in the shape of a Kawasaki Z750. This is a restoration project. Make no bones about it. We don't know much about this bike at all. Do we have a number plate? No, sir, we do not. We don't know what the frame number is because we can't read it. We don't know what the engine number is because we can't read it. So it's possibly for spares. But you might be thinking, nope, it's all there. I'll tell you what, even though it's in pretty ropey condition, the cans are amazing. You'd think, would those like mild steel exhaust systems not have rotted through? No, weirdly, no. And yet, we can't even read the frame number or the engine number because there's that much corrosion. This is, with 45,000 miles on it, a full restoration project, but there's no reserve. It sells for what it sells for on the day, which is this Friday at Manor Park Classics, here in Cheshire. Runcorn is the nearest railway station. That used to be a Honda CBR400 F3, and it could be a Honda CBR400 F3 again, if you buy it. 600cc 4-stroke 4-cylinder from 1988. We've got no front end or bodywork. What we've got is what's there. Well, we have got some bodywork for the front. There, we've got that fairing and the radiator guard. But we haven't got forks, wheel, etc. No reserve, 1988 Honda CBR600 FJ. 1965 Honda CB72 Dream Supersport. I know a chap called Barry Cheese. He was the assistant mayor of the London Borough of Brent, but many years before that, he was one of the Ace Cafe boys. Yes, the legendary Ace Cafe there in the shadow of Wembley Stadium on the North Circular Road. And he told me about the day that the Honda representative brought one of these along to the Ace and was almost thrown in the river. Yeah, because he dared to go to one of the meccas of British motorcycling with this horrible piece of Japanese upstart engineering. None of the lads wanted a go on it. The guy took it there to offer them test rides on this new, fast, well-equipped, good-looking sports bike with its little 250cc engine, a 250 air-cooled parallel twin. Barry said, Steve, I had a word with him and I had to go on that bike because he's not the longest in the leg, is Barry, so it was better for him than the big British stuff. But he said, do you know what? It was absolutely brilliant. It was a revelation, that little Honda. And it could be a revelation for you now. As relevant today as it was in 1965, 60 odd years ago. 60 years ago. 4-speed gearbox, full UK V5, electric start. Yeah, electric start in 1965. This one is very, very nice indeed and very, very cheap. Can you believe that you can have a definitive classic? This is where it all starts for the Japanese motorcycle industry in the UK in terms of a viable machine that would be bought as an alternative to what Britain had to offer at the time. This bike would keep up with much bigger bikes on the road. This was the bike that convinced a lot of people they should turn away from British bikes and buy Japanese. So like I say, a definitive classic, the CB72 Dream Supersport. 2,700 to 3,200, criminally cheap in my estimation, but it could be yours. So get bidding. Oh, here we are, we're over here. 1998 Ducati 916 SPS. The estimate is 22,000 to 24,000. 996 4-stroke V-twin, Termes. Yes, of course it's got Termes. It's number 260 in a strictly limited edition of how many they could sell. Not true. 260, 916 SPS. 6-speed, bike runs perfectly. Perfect bike for the avid collector. Let's have a look at the mileage. It's done nothing. 5,000 miles from brand new since 1998. 916 SPS. I say it again. A definitive classic in my all-time top 10, in my all-time top 5 of road-going motorcycles, for what that's worth. And what this worth, we reckon, is 22 to 24. Proper money for a collectible motorcycle. I'm glad to see that. It means I can't afford one, but you might be able to. 22 to 24,000 pounds on the 98 Duke 916 SPS with the single seat unit, with the white blocks for your race numbers. You could pretend that you were Carl Fogarty if that floats your boat. No, don't float mine. I know him. Good lad. Blackburn lad. But look at it. Probably the best looking bike ever made. I've ridden one of these, and do you know what? They're quick. What a great looking bike as well. The Norton V4 SV, a handcrafted British superbike. I said at the time, your two-wheeled Aston Martin, that's what you're getting here. You're getting the same things that Aston Martin gives you. Handcrafted British engineering, the pinnacle of British engineering, superb performance, but do you know what? A bit more class than just about anything else on the road, and that iconic name. In the same way that Aston Martin is a name that resonates around the world, so is the unapproachable Norton. And did I mention they're bloody quick? Full gas in the first 3 gears feels like you're being fired from a gun. Now, I know there are faster bikes out there than that, but do they look this good? Just look at the detail. Fraser's good at this. Get in close, Fraser. Show them the detail. The hand stitching on the seat there. The welds on the frame. Look at that frame, that beautiful polished frame. It is absolutely exquisite, this motorcycle. Even that top yoke there. Look at that, the way that it's kind of, it's been CNC'd, so it's almost like a bone rather than a piece of metal. That beautiful attention to detail. The estimate on this one, considerably cheaper, I think you'll find, than when it was brand new. This is 3 years old. It's done no miles. What's it done? 62 miles from new. I went more than that in an hour and a bit out on one of them a few weeks ago. 25 to 27, I believe the retail, they're still retailing for more like 50. We reckon 25 to 27 this one will go for this Friday in our sale. I'm liking being in this corner. I'm feeling right at home with these very expensive super bikes that I can't afford. But as I say, you might be able to. I hope you can, and I hope you bid in our sale this Friday. Ducati 1098 road registered track bike. That's always handy, isn't it? Then you don't have to take it in a van. You know, if you pop into Walton Park for a track day from our part of the world, maybe Donington, why not ride it down there? What have you been at, you're saying? Well, if you do your collarbone or your scare for, you're not going to be driving it home, are you? Which is what I've done the last couple of times that I've come adrift at a track day. Best place to do it though, isn't it? If you're going to fall off on a track day. Yeah, because they've got like people to help you. You're not like lying in a ditch and people are wondering where you are. Let's not talk about crashing it. Let's talk about buying it. Ready to go with 5,500 miles on it. Belt done at a Ducati specialist at 5,399 miles, and it's done 5,500. 4 service stamps. It's got Termes. It's got the V5. It's got some very, very sporty rubber, which wouldn't appear to have too much life left in it. Woof! Cool. That has gone round a lot more turn left a lot more than it's turned right. A lot more. So, not Donington. Not Donington. I'm wondering where he's done that. Blimey. 5,000 to 5, wow, cheap. 2008, 1098. 5,000 to 5,500 for a bike that's ready to go on the track. It's not all about top speeds. It's about excitement. Very exciting ride. Very cheap. 3,000 to 3,500. Sorry, 5,000. Getting carried away there. I should be, I know. 5,000 to 5,500 pounds on the 1098 Ducati. What red-blooded young man, or indeed middle-aged man, bear with me, wouldn't like rejoice to the ring-a-ding-ding of a two-stroke? Well, maybe you, but maybe not. Maybe like me, you absolutely bloody love these things. We've got some corkers, starting with this one, which is a 1974 Yamaha RD250, a nice original example. It's got a 6-speed gear, 6-speed box on these. Yeah, the better to make use of that peaky power plant, that twin-cylinder air-cooled power plant there. This is an import from the States. Yep, mile per hour clocks. Came to the UK in 2020. It's got a Kickstarter. It's low mileage, 7,500 miles from new, and the estimate is £2,500 to £3,000. A cheap, affordable way. It's not brilliant. It's really good, but it needs a bit of work. But it's cheap. Like I said, £2,500 to £3,000 is the estimate on that 74 Yamaha RD250. RD400, nice example of this much loved motorcycle, it says here, and I wouldn't argue with that. We've got some receipts for the work that's been done to it. It is a UK bike from new, this one. And it's got the fastback July seat. So many of the bikes have these fastback seats on in this sale. I don't know why I'm noticing them. It's like if you've got like a blue Morris Marina, you notice other blue Morris. Not that you'd have a blue Morris Marina, I might add, but if you had one, you'd notice other ones. 400cc two-stroke twin, you know that, air-cooled, 26,000 miles in it. It's in good order. It's in good order. These all speeds, these cans, let me have a look. They're all speeds. Yeah. They're in really good nick. They look brand new. I didn't know they were still at it. Are they still at it, all speeds? They've got to have been doing this for 40 years. They were doing that when these things were new. Anyway, it's got the pipes on it. It's got these sort of buck-on bars. I think these are a bit higher than the bars that we would have had in the UK. The estimate on this one, it's £6,000 to £7,500. The 1980 Yamaha RD400. Now, this is a 79 RD400, an almost finished project, it says here. Yep, new tyres. It's had a paint job. New set of decals, yeah, definitely. Yeah, somebody started on this, and as it says, nearly finished, but not quite got there. Who knows why that didn't happen? There's probably a story, but we haven't got time for it now. Described as 90% complete. The paintwork has all been done. We've got a dating, yeah, because it's been rubbed down and all that. This is like rubbing the paint down, isn't it? One UK owner, matching numbers, engine, and a frame. It's done. Nearly 7,000 miles from new, which is 1979. We've got 2 keys. We've got the V5. Like we say, 90% complete. I'm looking around it. Yeah, it's all there. You just need to finish it off. New tyres, new paint, all sorts of new stuff on it. £4,500 to £5,000 is the estimate on that one. Now, this bike has been put on a pedestal. Not just literally, although it has, but it's been put on a pedestal because it was a paragon of two-stroke style, performance, and affordability back in the lovely 1990s. I was big in the 90s. I loved it then, and I love it now. Like me, a lot of people love this bike because of its looks, because of the performance that it offered, and because it was man-sized. Yeah, a lot of the Japanese stuff was a bit on the diminutive side in terms of the proportions. But you could be, like me, 14 stone of 5'10" tall Lancastrian manhood and still sort of get yourself one of these quite comfortably. And, you know, it's not a touring bike, but it wasn't agony after 20 minutes like it would have been on some of the Japanese two-strokes. You won't find a better looking bike. I think this is the best colour in black like this. It's got that banana swinging arm. It's a two-stroke. It was a development of the Suzuki RGV250 motor with Aprilia working their own magic on that motor. 55 brake horsepower, 6-speed gearbox. This has had one owner. It's going to be quite expensive. And the estimate is, well, when I say quite expensive, I mean, look what you're getting for, we reckon, between 8 and 9 grand. Fabulous thing. Wonderful thing. The Aprilia RS250, a true classic already. Now, a bike where there's no discussion as to whether or not it deserves classic status is the Yamaha RD350 YPVS. Yes. 3,900 kilometres from new. It's in absolutely mint condition. It is gleaming underneath the lights here inside at Manor Park Classics, where we will store your bike before and after we offer it for sale in this heated, air-conditioned and dry as a bone facility. No sticking it in some wonky old shed in the middle of the countryside. No, not here. So this bike is a genuine example with super low mileage. Like we say, it's done under 4,000 kilometers from new, and it's what? It's 35 years old now. One owner. We've got the original screen with the bike. We've got the V5, and the estimate on this one is 7,250 to 7,750 of your English pounds. It's gleaming everything. There's not a mark on it like a brand new bike. The grips, the clocks, even around the key, no scratches, no marks. All the places you'd expect to find on the filler cap, no, nothing. It's like a brand new bike. Could be yours for between 7,250, about £7.5 grand, we reckon. RD250, 1981, superb, restored example. Yeah, the paint works very bright. That's been redone since 1981. It's got a kickstart, liquid cooled, 6-speed gearbox, low mileage. Let's have a look. 26,000 from new since 1981, which is a while back, I think you'll agree. It's in great condition. It's obviously been subject to quite a bit of restoration work. Ideally, you could come down here and have a look at the bike on the day. If you can't, look online. Fraser's really great at what he does, and you'll see the details. You'll see those nooks and crannies where you would find the wear and tear, where a lot of work has been done, and people have been polishing, and people have been restoring and renovating and reinvigorating these motorcycles, or not, as the case may be. But of course, it's so much better if you can turn up. We do it on a Friday here at Manor Park, the bikes. We got our own day for the bikes. And it's this Friday here at Manor Park, which is in Runcorn East, is the nearest railway station, by the way. I've come here on the train from Manchester. It was quick and easy. I walked. It was about 1.5 miles to get here. Quite nice. You might be on the other side of the world thinking, why are you telling me that? Well, because. Just trying to fill the time. Well, the work out is this is an RD80. It is, isn't it? It's an RD80. What an odd thing, 80cc. Really built for the European market. There used to be 80cc racing, didn't there, back in the day? There used to be 350s and 80s, which are kind of, you think, really? Yeah, back in the day. And people will tell you, oh yeah, well, Phil Reed and Mike Elwood, they'd be on a 50 and an 80 and a 125 and a 250 and a 350 and a 500. They must have been exhausted, them lads. Great little bike, this one. 2-stroke, single cylinder, matching frame and engine numbers, low miles. Is it a UK bike from new? I think it is, yeah. Yeah. We've got the V5, we've got 2 keys with it, and it's 1,500 quid to £2,000 is the estimate on the 81 Yamaha RD80. Right, over here. Walks this way. Oof. Here's an interesting piece of kit. One of those things where they say, oh, it was ahead of its time. But was it? It's an Aerial 3. So it's got 3 wheels. 1 at the front, 2 at the back, and he said it pivots. So that's it, because you're thinking, well, how do you go around the corner? Because I've asked people who've had trikes, conventional trikes, to explain to me how the thing corners. Because I kind of understand, well, I do understand how a motorbike goes around the corner, and I understand how a car goes around the corner. But a trike, with like car back wheels and a motorbike front wheel, they've never really been able to adequately explain how. You can explain how this goes around the corner. Look at that. It pivots. It had a Dutch moped engine in it, and they thought, this is just the sort of thing for the ladies to go out and do the shopping, because you get a weekly shopping there. Anyway, it wasn't much of a success, and to be honest, it wasn't really ahead of its time, because we don't really have things like that now here in England. Look at that, it's got a rubber seat. Wow. No reserve. Oh, right, 1970 it's from. Yeah, it looks older, doesn't it? It looks maybe from the 50s, but it's not. It's from 1970. Kind of a last throw of the dice for Aerial. Pretty radical company. They had some radical ideas. This was one of them. It was brave, but it didn't work. Never mind. No reserve on the Aerial 3. Now then, what's this way? the Velocette. Right, so you've got a bicycle, and it's, you know, the end of the Victorian era, and you're thinking, what are we going to do with this gap in the middle? Because obviously, if it was a gentleman's bicycle, it'd have a top tube there, and then you've got a big gap there. And people thought, what if you put a motor in there? Oh, well, then it'd be a motorcycle. What a great idea. Let's do that. Not the French. No, they have to do things differently, don't they? So they thought, do you know where we should put the engine? Over the front wheel. Yeah, that's not going to adversely affect the handling, is it? No, it'll be fine. I love France and I love the French. I've had 3 or 4 of the wacky go up and down Inspector Clouseau cars. You know, like the one that got cut in half in a James Bond movie. I've had them. That's how much I like that stuff. And I quite like this. There, I've got the horn for it. But it's a 1964, same age as me, 1964 Velocette S3300, unrestored, right? And get this, we don't know, it's unregistered. It's just been a museum piece. We don't think it's been used at all. But if you look on the back there, this Velocipede has been ridden by one of the hottest women that's ever lived. Yeah, on a Blackman. Literally, pussy galore. Ah, pussy. Yeah, pussy galore rode this Velocette. And of course, she rode that BSA, didn't she? When she was pussy. Did she ride it? Yeah, she rode it in the film. And then, of course, she was in the Avengers. And she rode motorbikes in that. I think she'd been a dispatch rider during the war. Don't quote me on that. I might be mixing her up with the Queen. But because of my feelings for Ms. Blackman, I'm not going to go any further with that in case the Queen gets involved. And nobody wants that. There's not much to it, but what it is individualistic. It'd make a great talking piece, wouldn't it? If you've got a bar or a French bistro or something like that, can you imagine? It'd be great. Everybody talk about it. They'd go, you know that place where they've got the little wacky French motorbike that Pussy Galore rode? Oh yeah, let's go and have a look at it. No reserve. You pay what you like. You pay what somebody thinks it's worth. Honor Blackman sat there. Pussy galore. Yeah, she sat right there. There she is. What a woman. I love a woman that's got her own motorbike. Yeah, I like it. Anyway, I like this as well. Is this a PC50? It looks like one. Yeah, it's a PC50, an iconic 1960s scooter. Go anywhere on this little scooter and you'll find delightful little touches, really nice little castings and brackets and stuff where they've thought, let's put a bit of thought into this, let's make it bright and shiny, let's make it look attractive for the person who needs something cheap, reliable and durable to go about their business. Let's not just make a utilitarian piece of crap. Let's make something nice. And Honda made the PC50 and it set them on their way. It's a 4-stroke, obviously, because it's a Honda. He didn't like 2 strokes, didn't Soshiro. He wasn't keen at all, so he'd go 4-stroke whenever he could. That one is estimated between £900 and £1,100. 68 Honda PC50, where it all started. Now, people have been looking at this because it's not just good. When people say museum quality, what they mean is, to be honest, what they mean is better than new. They mean new, but tidied up and fettled and sorted so that it's just completely immaculate, which they never really were, because this was just basic transport for folk, wasn't it? A Honda SA50 Vision Metin, that is a long name for a small machine, isn't it? Museum quality, mint to death, better than new, 1250 to 1750. That's a 2-stroke 49cc moped. 1989 it's from. I bet it's done no miles, 0 or something like that. No, surprisingly, wow, amazingly, it's done just over 2,000 miles. But like I say, there is no sign of wear anywhere on it. Mint. Lambretta LD125, 1957, a beautiful example. I like this 2-tone paintwork. It's got some extras on it. It's in very good condition. It's obviously been restored. I don't think they had this metallic paint when they were new. A Lambretta in 1957. It's on the odometer, it says 465 kilometres. We can't authorise that, or we can't endorse that. What's the word I'm looking for? Guarantee. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you, Fraser. We can't guarantee that, but that's what it says on the odometer. It's a really nice old Lammy. Not the best looking, the 50s ones. The 60s ones were better looking for me, but 2,800 to 3,300. 57 Lammy LD125. LI150. My brother had one of these. So this is sort of Jimmy spec, isn't it? Jimmy being the character portrayed, the hapless character portrayed by Phil Daniels in the film Quadrophenia. The message of which was, don't join gangs and put on a bolt-on personality. Be yourself, go your own way. What we all did, went out and bought Parkers and scooters. Joined a gang, right? So there you go, Pete Townsend. That'll teach you. Very nice old Lambretta LI150. Loads of like proper accessories. It's got the front rack. It's got the Florida bars. It's got the, is that the Bermuda backrest? I think so. Nice accessories with the spare tyre. Pirelli, proper Pirelli tyres on this one. Very, very good condition. The odometer shows 671 miles. What's the thing with these old Lammies? They used to cover like stratospheric mileage, and they've all got like tiny amounts on the odometers. I think the odometers must be new. That must be the answer there. 64, same age as me, in much better condition. 3,000 to 3,500 pounds on that Lammy LI150. LI150 Series 3. We've got a nice lineup of Lambrettas here. You can see how they became sort of saucier and more sort of sporty looking in a way. I know what you mean. Most of your motorcyclists, it's a scooter. But they did get sportier. The wheels got bigger. The engines got bigger. The speeds came up. You can't get all this stuff. All these accessories, the leg shield flashes, the badges, these mats, what they call shark's teeth, which are the ends of the footboard embellishments. All these alloy bits, you can't get. That casting there for the headlight, that one for the horn. It's all here on this bike and all in really good condition. 2,800 to 3,300 of the 64 Lambretta LI150 Series 3. Right, this is what we have at Manor Park. We have variety. So from a Series 3 Lambretta LI150 to this beast. And what a beast. Come in, I'll step out of the way, Fraser. You show the good people this bike. It's a GSX1000. I'm doing this off memory because it's not written down on me. It's written down on that bit of paper. And if you go online, you can see all the details. But basically, I think it's a 2008 GSX1000 K8. And it's got a Rotor X supercharger on it. Now, that means that on the dyno, this bike is showing 225 brake horsepower. Remember, it's a 2008. The motor has been extensively reworked. The pistons, the conrods, all the stuff inside that you would expect to be uprated, beefed up, replaced, substituted, that's all been done so that this motor holds together. What would it have been as standard? About 160 brakes, something like that. 225 brake horsepower. That is some upgrade. We've got Marchesini wheels. We've got a Yoshimura exhaust. We've got all sorts of carbon fibre loveliness. And the lad who had this could obviously ride because these tyres is fried. They are fried alive. There's not much life left in them, I don't think. I think these might be the softest road rubber tyres. They are road rubber, I think. Look at these tyres, look at that. Dunlop Sport Max. Yeah, wow. What a great bike. Wow, we've not had anything in like this for a while. It's also so clean. Just looking around it, you'd think, oh, it'll have battle scars, this one. All that's been tidied up. It's in beautiful condition. What's the mileage on it? Just under 5,000 miles. All of that, and such a classy looking machine, isn't it? I mean, it's a weapon, but it doesn't really leap out at you. It's pretty subtle. I like that. 10 to 12,000 on that one. The extensively modified 2008 Suzuki GSX1000 K8. Right, Yamaha. I had one of these, so I should be able to find it. This one, SR1000. Loctite. Too Tall Terry Ryman was on the Loctite Yamahas, wasn't he? Do you remember him? He was too tall. He was a very good rider. Brilliant. Very consistent. I think he did quite a lot of endurance stuff because he just was fast, but he was consistently fast. But can you imagine somebody like Terry Ryman at his height? Or Rob Mack in MotoGP now? A lad that size. Wouldn't happen, would it? Like jockeys now, aren't they? 1,000 to 1,500 quid. You know what it is. It's an FZ1000, 1988. We've got the V5. Mileage, 25,000. Good honest bike. It's all there. 1,000 to 1,500 quid. 88 Yamaha FZR 1000. FZ, an oddball here. Definitely JDM, innit, this one. Screams JDM at you. We never had anything like this. Look at it. A 250 Phaser Genesis. Steve, the Phaser and the Genesis are two different bikes. Well, not here, they're not. Look at that, it's got a glove box. Look at that. Just put your gloves in there. Hold on. Oh, I broke it. Oh, no, I haven't broken it. Right. 1986, 86. Right, so you're not telling me this is a four-cylinder motorcycle at 250. This is what they did, the Japanese, didn't they? Yeah, it's a four-cylinder motorcycle. 250, four-cylinder. We've got a recent MOT on it. We've got the owner's original import docket and the booklet that came with the bike when it was new in 1986. Wow, look at the technology. You're not telling me we've got double discs. Yeah, double discs on the front, disc on the back as well. Crazy. Triple discs, 250cc, four-cylinder motorcycle. Wow, the Phaser Genesis. Where would you find another one? You wouldn't. 3,000. I'll tell you where you'll find it, the Manor Park sale this Friday. 3,000 to 3,500 is the estimate. Honda CBR400F, the universal motorcycle. The go anywhere, do anything motorcycle, and also not break down motorcycle because it's a Honda. Beautifully put together, very quick in the right hands. Not mine, obviously, but, you know, somebody like, I don't know, Jim Moody, Phil McCallan, people like that back in the day, made these things fly. Absolutely fly. As much motorcycle as the majority of motorcyclists actually need. We all kid ourselves we need a litre bike. Not really. This is about as much as you'd ever need, really. Fantastic condition, this one. Not many like this. Look at this with the standard exhaust on. When was the last time you saw a CBR600 from this era with the standard exhaust on it? Everything on it is as it left the Honda factory. Beautifully restored, low mileage at 26,000 since 1991. 34 years. Good grief, 34 years. What a bike. This set the standard, didn't it? Way less. 1,800 to, this is, the problem is, when I estimate the values, there's a voice in my head saying it's worth at least £3,000, maybe £4,000. No, our estimate is 1,800 to 2,100 pounds. 891 Honda CBR600. Triumph Daytona 600. God, look how big it is. Look how physically large it is. Is that a cover? Because it's a huge tank otherwise. I think it's just a cover. Super Sport 600. Did Triumph really make a big dent in the sales of 600 from Japanese manufacturers? I don't think they did. And if we're honest, they didn't really do anything differently. This was their version of a Japanese 600cc super sports bike. It's got an aftermarket Scorpion can on it. It's got a patriotic tank protector. There are flags all over the shop. Of course, this is when Triumphs were actually made in the UK. And they are now, of course. Not all of them. But yeah, anyway, this is, and that's the nature of the business, in it, around the world. Where was your Kawasaki built? China, probably. Yeah. Triumph Daytona 600, great condition. Mileage, oh, it's on the Digitalis, so I shall have to have a look on here. Quite big miles. I'm really surprised going around the bike and looking at it. It's on 33,000 miles. The estimate, 1,800 to 2,300. There is a Suzuki Bandit somewhere here, and it is here, Fraser, if you could join me over here. Now, this one's going to be cheap. Half-fared Bandit 600. It's had a life, this one. How far has it gone? 30,000 miles since 2001. Standard bike, chain drive, electric start, everything's there. It's not in the best of condition, but it's not bad. And the estimate is 500, 700 quid. That would be a very cheap way to get yourself out there on a very competent motorcycle. And also, if you had something super fantastic like that supercharged Suzuki I was talking about a few minutes ago, but you didn't want to leave that at the railway station all day, take that. They used to call about this a hack. The sort of thing you could go out on without worrying what would happen to it when you weren't there to look after it. And the sort of thing you could take out on a mucky, horrible day when it's going to get all dirty and wet and filthy. Because it only costs you between, we reckon, in our sale, 500 and 700 quid. GSXR 1100WR, a superb example of this massive, look at the physical size of it. I'll stand behind it. Look how big it is. It's massive. GSXR 1100W, well, they couldn't really work out how to, at this time, 1994, they couldn't get that engine any more compact and lighter. Of course, inevitably, they would, because that's the Japanese way. Each year you make an improvement. Each way you inch towards perfection. Things get stronger, lighter, more powerful. But back in the day, we had this big lump, this big, super powerful, super reliable, indestructible lump from Suzuki. Gary Rothwell used to use these in his stunt shows, and he would bang it off the rev limiter for hours at a time, and occasionally wave an oily rag in its direction. This is an unmolested one. Standard exhaust. It's got the when do you see that? When you see one of these, it's not even got a tank protector. Completely standard. Only 3 owners. It's a Dutch import, so we've got a kilometres speedometer here. It's the original panels. It's got an MOT. There were no advisories on that MOT. New tyres, and it's got the pillion seat. The pillion seat is new because there was some wear on that. Very tidy. The European headlight and the luggage rack are provided, so it's been fitted with a UK compliant headlights. But the original European one is available. And the cost of this bike, we reckon to you this Friday in our sale, approximately 3 grand. Yeah, the estimate's around 3,000. 94 Suzuki GSXR. 94 Triumph Speed Sprint 900, a low mileage triple. Triumph were making some good, honest bikes in this period. Not very sexy, this one. It's a bit, I don't know. It's just not very sexy. It's a good, honest bike. It's a big chunk of motorcycle, isn't it? Look how big it is. Again, massive bikes of this era. I mean, look at it. Very low mileage for a sports tour of 15,000 miles. You know, that's what's missing on this one. The luggage. If it had the luggage on the back here, it'd just make a lot more sense. It'd balance it up. And the colour scheme's a bit sort of, it's quite patriotic with the red, white and blue. I like that, yeah. Original owner's book, original service book, 9 service stamps, 5 from the main dealer. It's got a current MOT. I bet it's cheap. Yeah, ridiculously cheap. 700 to 900 quid on the 94 Triumph Sprint 900. Fastest bike in the world when it came out, 1994. Kawasaki ZZR 1100. Ready to ride, it says on this one. Painted in the much loved colours. Really? By who? Whoever wrote this, one of the lads upstairs. I like these in black. Thought they looked amazing in black. Anyway, never mind what it looks like. They, like I said, in its day, the fastest bike in the world before that title was taken by the Honda Blackbird, which was, in many ways, a sportier motorcycle than this. This was a sports tourer, very much so. I'm very good at that. Mate of mine went all over Europe on one of these. Many, many, many thousands of miles. 2 up, loads of luggage. Never had a bit of bother with it and loved it. This one is estimated to sell with just over 20,000 miles on it, which is nothing, in 30 odd years, for between 1,750 and 2,250. Look at this. Hold on a second. Oof, what? Really? BMW K1300S, 2013. I like these. I'm cracking on, you see. So I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, yeah, look at that. K1300S. It's subtle. It's sophisticated. It's got a bit of class, you know. Remind you of anybody? Not me, obviously, but this is a cracking bike, ex-main dealer bike, 5,500 miles on it. See, I don't get that. Bike's been around since 2013, 5,500 miles. Somebody bought this with the intention of going all over. It's not a quick squirt on a Sunday bike, if you'll pardon the expression, is it? This is a bike that you use to go to the other side of Europe on and back in a weekend. But for whatever reason, only 5,500 miles, someone else's misfortune that they didn't get to use it in the way that they thought they might, it's your fortune. And it's not a fortune for it. 5,500 to 6,000 pounds for a one-owner bike, shaft drive, 1300cc. It's got the BMW alarm, motorrad charger. It's got a quick shifter, electronic suspension, heated grips. It's got the lot. We reckon it'll sell for between 5,500 and 6,000 pounds. This bike's barely running. That might be the bargain of the sale so far. But if you're looking for a strictly sanitary sled, yeah, a righteous ride, brother, then you might prefer this. Although I'm not sure about them crash bars on the front. They look like they're off one of those MZs. I like the horn here. I bet it's a klaxon, that. Right, we can't fire it up, but I'll tell you what noise that horn makes. I bet it goes like that. What do you reckon, Fraser? It makes that noise, yeah. Harley XLH Sportster Hugger. Bored out to 1200 cc's. Now, it says that, bored out. I think they just swapped the barrels. Yeah, that was a popular swap on these, wasn't it? The 883 and the 1200, same bottom end, different top end. So, stick the old, and has it got a MKIII carburetor behind that air? I can't tell because this fellow was living to ride and he was righteous and he didn't care. Just living free like that eagle. Look at that. Even as late as 1996, Harley were putting, look, we've got 5 speeds. We've got five speeds. This is all making it sound like I don't like Harleys. That's not true. I really like Harleys. They are different to other bikes, and I enjoy that. And I'm looking around this one thinking, yeah, it's got some nice gear on it. The Mustang seat. He's got these panniers which could be cleaned up. Do you know what? Take those bars off it. I'll ride that to, well, maybe that as well. I'm not sure about that. I know some people get off on it, all that Americana, but I'm from Bury. You know, if I was from Poughkeepsie, Idaho, yeah. But I'm from Bury, which is probably why I've got mainly British stuff, like an old Triumph and an old MG car and, you know. Whereas my American brother, this would probably suit him down to the ground. Now, you might be in love with all of that and you might think this look is fantastic, but you might be looking at the current Harley price guides and thinking, how much for a new Harley? Right, well, this one, very cheap. When did you ever hear this in relation to a Harley that's all together and running and going and everything? 1,000, when did you hear of a price guide on a Harley that started with 1,000? 1,800 to 2,300, we reckon. The Harley Hugger 883, I think that referred to these bars. I like them bars. The more I stand next to it, I'm going to have to move away from it. The more I stand next to it, the more I like it. Yeah, 1,800 to 2,300, the 96 Harley XLH Sportster Hugger. Now, we're talking custom here. Yeah. It's a chopper, baby. It ain't a motorcycle, baby. It's a chopper. Look at them bars. Right, obviously, Fraser, I'm going to sit on this one. Wish me luck. I might injure myself. Oof, dear God. It's got the same wheelbase as the Lord Mayor's Daimler. Look at that. Where'd you put your legs? The exhaust, the chances of not burning yourself, they've got guards on. I suppose you put your, as soon as you get going, you've got to get your feet up there. Wow, that is low. Look at me. Badass dude. Yeah. Right, so, again, it makes it sound like I'm not into it. I am. I think it's great. Zodiac, not Mine Warp, that's Zodiac Parts over there in Holland. Biggest suppliers of Harley parts in the UK, and of course, famous drag racers. This is truly custom. I mean, there's quite a few bits on this that have just been bodged together, but whoever built it has put a lot of time and effort into it. And you might not like it, and I'm not saying it's something that floats my boat, but it is undeniably a chopper. And where else, again, would you get this? A Harley chopper. Look at that air cleaner, Fraser, come around here. Look at that. That's the air cleaner. Can you imagine? You've failed your MOT, sir. I have a few advisories. Would you like to go through them with me? Yeah, this fella didn't care, did he? No, what's it's given. Yeah, no, what's it's given. And that could be you. Again, where did you hear this? A Harley chopper, one-off like that, with a price guide that starts with a 1,800 to £2,000, we reckon. It's a 1,200 with a 5-speed gearbox. Apart from that, we know nothing, except there's a bum for every bike, and the one that's for that bike is probably clad in leather. Oh, yeah. Right, now, a Harley Road King. Cool, this is it. You're only the king of the highway. Look at this bad boy. Pro Charger... What? Yeah, look at this. What was this way, Fraser? Look at all this gubbins here. So you've got a 1550cc V-twin 4-stroke, but you've also got a Pro Charger supercharger and intercooler conversion, a Baker 6-speed overdrive conversion. Wow. I dread to think how much money that work would cost. I would hazard a guess that for those two things I've just mentioned, the Baker 6-speed overdrive conversion and that Pro Charger and intercooler conversion, I bet there's no change out of about £8,000. Maybe a bit more for the work that went with it. The amount of stuff that's on this bike that's not standard is, I'll bet, as much as the thing cost in the first place back in 2005. A 2005 Harley Davidson, get this name, FLH RSEI Road King with the supercharger. Yeah, baby, it's a supercharger. Look at the seat, look at the custom paintwork. Look at the grips, all this stuff, the lights. Wow. What a thing. Again, the story. What's the story? What makes a man do something like this and then want to give up on it? Would this not be your bike for life? I would have thought that you made something like this, you poured your heart and soul into it, and a ton of money, many, many thousands of pounds. And then you were like, right, that's it for me. But no, it's on the market and for sale this Friday. And we reckon between £17,000 and £19,000. A fraction of what it's cost to build. The list of extras, like me, goes on and on and on. You think it's never going to stop. Fuel. My pal's got one of these, Rob. I wonder if actually, I think he's just bought a Pan American. So this might, no, this isn't his. No, it's too clean. Sorry, Rob. Rob uses his a lot, though. He lives in Wales. And I was going to say there's a lot of dirt in Wales. I'm just saying it's rural. That's what I was trying to say. And then I thought, saying a lot of dirt makes it sound bad. Whereas it's rural, that sounds nicer, doesn't it? This one doesn't like it's been used in rural conditions. Or, if it has, it's had a bloody good clean since then. Of course, the Ulysses was Harley, when Harley owned Buell, because Buell are back, aren't they? But I'm not sure who owns them. I'll tell you who I know it isn't. Eric Buell, who I actually met a few times. Very interesting man. What a story he's got to tell. So this was their attempt to build like a BMW GS. Not as good as GS, but not far off, with a different character, different kind of bike for a different kind of rider. 1200cc twin-cylinder engine, one UK owner from new, 3-box luggage kit that goes with it. You could be ready to roll on the road, ready to get out there, go across Europe. People forget Harleys are built for big miles, big touring miles. So don't be thinking, oh, will it be reliable? Well, yeah, that engine's bulletproof. No, don't quote me on that, right? If you get stuck in the middle of nowhere and it does a rod or something like that, does a rod? Yeah, they've got push rods, haven't they? That's right. I remembered. Yeah, don't call me. Don't say, hey, Berry, you said, where are you? Poland? Sorry, it's a bad line. No reserve on the Buell Ulysses XB12X. Ulysses. I'm reading the Odyssey at the moment. Yeah, that's what I do of an evening. Yeah, watch old like Pathé newsreels of the TT and read Homer. Not that one. Right, so, the Deauville. Another bike that was designed to do a specific job and then was criticised by people like me for doing that job. Because here we had the successor to the NVT 650. So shaft drive, yes. Yes. Hold on. Yeah, and a V-twin engine and all fared in. But even though the NVT 650 was a very successful commuter /touring bike, this took it one step further with built-in luggage. So you had the built-in luggage. But underneath it was essentially the same well-proven Honda mechanicals. Again, not a sexy motorcycle by any stretch of the imagination. But if you thought, do you know what? We fancy like going on touring holidays and stuff like that, but we're not sure whether it's us. How about buying this for next to bugger all, between 800 and £1,000. It's done, 40,000 miles just over. It's got a current valid MOT. It's ready to go. Stick a top box on there. You've got built-in luggage there, built-in luggage there. Off you go. It's got heated grips. You go off to Croatia and you come back and you get divorced. Or you say, yeah, we love it. You bring this back to us and you buy the touring bike that you actually wanted in the first place. It'd be a really good way to find out whether it's for you. One of them. Might be time for you to get off that super sports bike, son. Get on one of these. Nice upright, heated grips. Nobody will know you only paid £800 to £1,000 for it. BMW K100. Classic. Wow. I thought all of these had been taken by them lads with the wax moustaches and the waistcoats and the full sleeve tattoos and turned into like bike shed specials. You know what I'm talking about? Where they put fabric wrap on the exhaust and they put a brown seat on it. I thought all of these had been taken for that. Well, they haven't, because here's one. Matching numbers, old school. It says old school on here. Yeah, damn right. 60,000 miles on it, which is bugger all for one of these. It's in fairly good order. Looks like it's done 60,000 miles, but it's a BMW, so it's not so much of a big issue. From 1984, when they made these properly. No reserve. No reserve. You know what you're looking at if you're looking at that. Got the boxes. Are they Chrysler? No, they're BMW. BMW, yeah. BMW panniers. Must have been supplied new. Next to it, the bike of now. The bike that everyone's got or is getting. A GS. You and Charlie have got a lot to answer for. They're actually good lads. I have met them. I asked Ewan McGregor if he wanted to play Mike Aylward in a film, and he laughed for quite a long time. I tried to speak to Charlie Bowman, but he ignored me. I've never really told anybody that. I went, yeah, Ewan was chatty. Charlie blanked me. Who does he think he is? Anyway, BMW R1200 GS Adventure. 2014. Can't believe that bike's nearly 10 years old. Wow. Yeah. Big box on the back there. Got all the crash bars. Wow, you can spec these up, can't you? You can go from virtually nothing on it. You could spend a ton of money. You can spend virtually the cost of the bike on accessories, on stuff for them, because there's so much stuff to buy for these bikes now. 125 brake horsepower version, this one from 2014. 2 owners from new. What's the mileage? Hold on a minute. What's the mileage? What if I told you this bike had done 46,000 miles since 2014? Look at the condition. Look at it. Looks great. Seat's good. Not too much wear here on the bars. Anywhere. What if I told you it'd done 146,000 miles? 146,000 miles. Wow. Yeah, 2 owners from new. Full service history. That's how we know it's done 146,000 miles. If it was a car, it won't be such a big deal, would it? Been to the Arctic Circle, this lad, twice. Must have liked it. I like the Arctic Circle. I'll come back, he said. And he did. On this bike. A credit to BMW, a credit to its owner. There is a sheaf of bills, like you won't believe, with this bike, because he was assiduous, this fella. He was back there for the services, BMW services. Spent a lot of money keeping this bike as nice as it is. 146,000 miles. 3,500 to £4,000 on the BMW R1200 GS. Next to it, A more traditional approach to touring from BMW with the traditional BMW horizontally opposed twin and shaft drive to the rear wheel. The R1200 RTMU, one previous owner, 8 service stamps, 7 of those at a BMW main dealer. Heated seats, heated grips, electronic suspension, electric screen. We've got the V5, we've got 2 keys, £3,000 to £3,500. It is ready to go. Ready to go wherever the hell you damn well like. Both of you. You can have a lovely time. £3,000 to £3,500. Keeping that theme going, it's a wing. Now, you know how much you like these things. I'm always banging on about them. I'm not so sure I'm that keen on this one. It's the colour. Do you like the colour, Fraser? No, like me. I prefer them in darker colours. However, it might have come from somewhere where it gets really hot. Like my missus has got home in the California desert, just outside Palm Springs, since you ask. And it gets really, really hot there. Like as hot as it gets anywhere on Earth. So you might not want dark colours. You might want light colours. Oh, can you imagine getting on that seat? Look at that. Look at this luxury. You've got a backrest, right? Where would that go out of the way? Would that go like that? Up there, yeah. So you've got that. The lady missus, I would imagine, on the back. Gender stereotypes from Steve Berry, but, you know, there you go. I ain't changing. The lady missus on the back there, she's got armrests. She's got her own speakers for the comprehensive stereo system you've got up front. Lovely. What a lump of motorcycle. Reverse gear. It's got reverse gear, this one, and air suspension. Like a truck. They've got reverse gears and air suspension, haven't they? Anyway, it's a fantastic thing. I love them. Look at all the... I love all this. Just quick. Look at all this tech here. Look at all this mute, AVC, tone. Oh, sorry, love, what's that? You don't like this Barbara Streisand? She's a bit strident. I'll just turn the tone down a bit. Come on. Fantastic. A completely revolutionary approach to motorcycling. 1500cc 6-cylinder. Yeah, this is the one with the big motor. 1990, very low mileage. Let's have a look. Yeah, 23,000. Nothing for one of these since 1990. And we reckon £3,500 to £4,000. Is it an Aspencade? I think that's like the fully spec one. Let me just have a look round the back. No, it's the SE. Yeah, it's the SE, so I think it's just below that. A brown saddle, but not like at the bike shed, unlike your Brat Street Scrambler on your... What are we calling this colour? Cream. Cream, but with like 2 E's. You know, like low cream at a 10cc. Nice lad from Prestwich, which is technically in Bury, where I'm from. Kawasaki Z650. There we are. Cracking bike. Oh, look at the condition of this. Phenomenal. I'll step back, let the man get in. 650 inline 4, new tyres, fully serviced, new Hagen shocks on the back, new progressive fork springs with seals in the front, new pattern 4-into-1 exhaust. We've got the original main stand if you want it, although that would interfere with that exhaust, obviously. We've got the V5 and we've got 2 keys, £4,000 to £4,500. It's in superb order. It's been gone through. You won't see too many of those because they were, again, look at that with a Kickstarter on it. They were a do-anything bike, like the Suzuki Bandit, like the Honda CBR400 that came later on. The bike was there to do everything for you, to take you to work, to get the missus on the back going out on a Friday night, off to the seaside at the weekend with the lads. That bike was there to do everything for you. And a lot of them got used up and worn out, so it's great to see one in that condition. Honda CB754, early one there, 73. It's a K2, really nice example, part of a small private collection. It starts, runs and rides. It had 1 UK owner since 1973. Current club dating certificate. We've got the V5. It is in very good order. Very, very good. Obviously, it's had restoration, some sort of restoration. 13,000 miles from new. That looks about right. £7,000 to £7,500. Honda Dream 50, previously owned by Colin Seeley. Look at this, of course, Honda built these and they put a disc brake on the front so you could tell the difference between this and the original. They made these in 2000 to celebrate, what was it, 50 years of Honda, so they built a 50, year 2000. Yeah, that'd be about right after the war, wouldn't it? Disc brake on the front, disc brake on the back, wow. Yeah, so quite usable. I bet it's done no miles. Yeah, it's done 4 miles. Not no miles, it's done 4. Like we said, previously the property of Colin Seeley, who was an innovative man when it came to frame design and a successful racer and did all sorts of things in the motorcycle industry. 5.6 brake horsepower. You know you haven't got much brake horsepower when they're going in, not even like halves, they're going in tenths of horsepower. 5.6, 5-speed gearbox, a modern tribute to the original Honda. 4 miles from new. Those are pushed around miles, I'll bet. Honda CB400. Is it behind me? Yes, sir. Here we are. Look at this. What a lovely bike. Great colour. Great colour. 13,500 miles from new. It's got the original chrome. It's been rebuilt with genuine parts. We've got a pack of receipts and MOTs for it. 1 UK owner. Not much else to tell you about that. 2 keys, V5. Mileage is 13,500. As I said, the 504. Again, one of the bikes that built Honda's reputation in the States for performance allied to sophistication, reliability, and durability. You could give them a licking and they kept ticking, as my American friend would say. Except he's a Harley man and would rather like throw himself into the Grand Canyon than ride a Honda. But some people are like that. Not me. Oh, it's a lovely Royal Enfield combination. Look at that. A Watsonian Monza sidecar. Because when you look at this sidecar, you think of the Monza race circuit, don't you? You think, oh yeah, racing. Look at it. Proper Wallace and Gromit territory, this, isn't it? I love it. It's got a rack on the back there for your luggage. Room for someone there. 3 of you. A ménage à trois. Off to Bridlington for the weekend. Come on. You're doing it in style if you're in this. I love how the livery on the sidecar sort of matches the livery on the bike itself, which is an Interceptor 650, a fine motorcycle. Very good value when they're new, and even better when, like this 2022 example, they are lightly used. 850 miles from new. It's one of those mad ideas that you have in it. I bet they took it on one holiday, around the Trossachs or something like that, or the Chilterns, maybe. Yeah. And then they put it away and thought, we've never used that thing again. Let's sell it. 7,500 to 8,000 pounds. The Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 combination with Watsonian Monza sidecar. Suzuki GT750. It's up there. I've been reading about these recently. I'm writing a book called Very On Bikes 1972, which takes our bike a month because I think 1972 was the greatest year in the history of the motorcycle. And I shall prove it in my book, which you should be able to buy at Christmas time if I crack on and get it finished for then. So I've been reading quite a bit about this. And it was, yes, very deliberately Suzuki saying, we're not going to do what everybody else does. We're going to do things differently. Boy, did they do things differently. 798, 758, 758, 2-stroke triple, electric start, 5-speed gearbox, front disc, rear drum, low mileage, matching numbers. Different. Not an inline 4-stroke motorcycle like everybody else. Different. And they were quick in the day. They were quick. 8,000, still are. 8,000 to 8,500 pounds for one in that condition, which is superb. Absolutely superb condition. Suzuki T250, this one. Lovely bike. Great looking bike. High level pipes, because, you know, you're a sporty dude if you've got one of these back in 1970. 1970. Wow. Yeah. 250cc. Twin, 2-stroke, runs and rides. Did we get these? I don't think we got these in the UK. This has got to be an American bike, surely. We got the V5. Imported into the UK back in 2021. Low mileage. It's only done 6,000 miles from new. It is MOT and tax exempt. It's in mega condition, beautiful thing. But it sounds fantastic. I'd love to fire it up, Fraser, but I shan't. We don't want to frighten the good people working here at Manor Park to get this sale ready for this Friday. Main stand, funny that, isn't it? An off-road style 252 stroke, and it's got a side stand and a main stand. Because, of course, you would have done all your own maintenance. Well, a lot of people would have done their own maintenance, especially with regard to the chain, maybe changing a tyre, putting a new inner tube in, that sort of thing. So it's got a main stand. Did I tell you what the estimate on that was? I think I did. £3,000 to £3,500 on the Suzuki. Honda 250 Super Dream, a lovely low mileage example. 4-stroke, twin-cylinder, 250, much maligned. Don't know why. They weren't the quickest thing, but good-looking bike, honest bike. Comstar wheels, were they first with the Comstars, or was it the CX500? Tell me in the comments below. I'm sure you will. A composite steel and alloy wheel, tubeless. I think they were first, or was it the CX? Like I said, tell me in the comments. Brilliant condition, got to have been restored, although, well, maybe not. It's only done 6,000 miles since 1978, which isn't a lot, is it? £3,000 to £3,500 on the 78 Super Dream. A gold wing. I like the early ones. Honda didn't know, again, right, so when it comes to the early 70s bikes, I'm bursting with knowledge because I'm just devouring so much information about that era. Honda didn't know what the wing was going to be. They thought it was a muscle bike. You know, like a Ducati DFL or a Triumph, the modern Triumph Rocket 3. They thought, yeah, it's like the muscle cars that have just been really popular in America. The Dodge Charger, the Chevelle, the GTO, the Pontiac GTO, not the Ferrari. They thought, yeah, it's like that. It's got a massive engine. It's low, it's heavy, brutal acceleration. Forget handling, forget braking, just straight line acceleration. Of course, the wing turned into something completely different. It turned into, for many years, the ultimate long-distance tourer, particularly in North America. This is an early one, 1975, 1,000cc flat four. The first wing was a 6-cylinder bike. They came down to a 4 from a 6, and then, anyway, get me a book when it comes out. New battery, oil and filters, and a front tyre, fresh fuel added, started first time, it's a Honda. Original toolkit, one UK owner, it's done, big miles I would imagine, no, 30,000 miles from new, and the estimate is £3,500 to £4,000. The original high-speed tourer, the Honda Goldwing. And that's it for this preview. Please come and join us if you can here on Friday. We have a lovely day. You'd love it. Come down if you can. If you can't, of course, then we're all set up for you to register and to bid online. Do that at Manor Park Classics, and I'll see you Friday.